Hello. So 43 minutes after the event began, I am ready to play. So I'm starting the day two of the Arena Open, sealed Kaldheim. The format today is best of three sealed. Okay, so we have some Angel tribal deck coming. That's nice. This enables splash in green, but probably I would like to be an Orzhov. This is still playable, I suppose, so maybe I will be a creature deck to some degree, but it's a nice card to have as a backup if the opponent has an advantage on board. And also this is good, especially the artifact half in sealed should be great. And if Orzhov will really be my main colors. This should be, so we even have a combo between these two, so that's great. With this ability I can swipe the opponent's board and only kill my protector and save the other creatures and maybe reset some enters the battlefield effects. We have nice effect here as well. So I can even exile an angel after this dies to Doomskar, so a 3 rare combo is coming for sure. Okay, so let's see. I think the rares push me to Orzhov, but we will see. I hope I will get there. So I have some cheap creatures that aren't so great. Okay, these two are superb. Some great uncommons. Rune is nice, this is nice. I have 2 copies of this removal, great. So 2 Valkyries and other angels. Master Scout comboing with Orzhov Saga. And some worse cards. So let's take a look at the blue. I have Find the Monster, Icebind Pillar, very good card. Mistwalker and Raven are good. Behold the Multiverse is very good. So some nice cards are there, but it's a little short. Only 1, 2, 3 cards that really, or maybe with Raven, I don't know, 3 to 5 cards that really push me to blue, and the rest are these 2 are bad fillers, and this is maybe as a 1 copy is a little better as a filler, and this is also a filler, so not good. And we have 2 copies of Way Down, should be good. So black is worse, but still I have more than 40 cards right now, so I can cut some worse black ones. I'm not sure if I want Snow-Covered Swamp. Let's take a look at other colors. Frostbite is good, this is good. This is good, very good. This is very good. Squash is cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 appealing cards, really appealing. And some decent fillers, but I don't really like that much this Craven Hulk, but it's decent enough. This isn't very good as well, but decent enough. Probably Snow-Covered Forest, the second one. These 2 are nice. Glittering Frost can be good as a 1-off probably. 2 copies are too many, I suppose. And but with Icehide Troll, maybe there is some incentive to at least consider 2 copies. Mentor is quite nice. This is good. So we got some Changelings and Troll, but green is also not very appealing. Nothing splashable here, so I don't think this pathway will see play. I have something to help splash red. If I looked to splash, but I think the splashable cards would be Bigri and maybe Ravager and 2 Squash. I can consider splashing them, but maybe my Orzhov deck will be good enough to just not go into 3 colors, which has its own costs. So I have some splashable green cards. Binding the Old Gods and Maya are very nice. This is probably worse, but I don't have fixings. What are my snowlands? 1, 2, 4 with forests, 3 and 4, and 2 taplands. So only Sulphurous Mire in my main colors. So green has better splashable cards, but no fixing, no good fixing here. No, this is a good fixing. So maybe just something like this. And notably no snow synergies, so there's no reason to play snowlands. And I think if I have Maya and binding the Old Gods, green splash is probably looking better than red splash. These two are good as well. Seven warriors, 7 clerics, 4 angels. This could be quite good if I have 7 warriors, 7 clerics. So it's it's probably nice enough. So these 2 red cards are really appealing. I would have to think if I want to be if I want to splash the 3rd color, because I still can be just an Orzhov deck, and if I want to splash the 3rd color, and if so, I don't think I want to double splash in such a deck. I prefer to be quite aggressive, so that would be the question, to whether to splash green or red, because I have 2 great green cards. And these 2 red cards are also great, and I have squashes as at least splashable cards in red. But squashes would be for 5 mana in this deck, and the only possible discount making them great 2 mana spells would be this Ravager. So I think I'm gonna count my removal too. 4. Two pseudo removals, 4+2. And I think I can count this as 1 maybe, so 5+2. And a sweeper, quite a lot of removal spells, so there's no great need to splash any of these colors. Green provides 1 removal, red provides 1 removal because squashes really aren't needed in this deck, so if I splashed red it would be mostly for Birgi because their artifact half this horn is great, and if I'm splashing red, I think adding a Ravager makes sense because this is a very good card. And so Maya and Horn are both 5 mana value cards. Value maybe this provides some tokens, but mostly this is a more aggressive card. This is a grindy card, and if I try to be aggressive, boosting my whole team and giving another counters instead of cards that I have to pay for. It's probably better, and binding the old gods is probably a better removal still than Ravager. Ravager is great, but I think if I would be splashing, I think I'll splash green. So I'm gonna take another look to make sure that I don't need Snowlands. And this way, if I play binding the old gods along with Furious Retribution, Master Scout gets much better. So I could have 3 sagas with. I'm not sure about keeping this Celestia saga, but still it is a possibility. And I have 1 rune and 2 removal auras. So rune can be in the graveyard to get back, but this should stay on the battlefield most of the time. There are of course some options that the creature under it or some permanent under it gets bounced or something, so I can bring them back. I think Master Scout could be good enough with 3 sagas and the rune, and maybe even I will leave some of the artifacts, but I think all of them are up for discussion. I'm not sure if I want. So probably this pick. I want to play this pick, but Raven Wings shouldn't be that good. Longboat, I'm not so sure. And this probably doesn't fit my deck. I have some things to do on turn 2, and this is very unappealing in such case. I have 4 creatures for 2 mana, so I can keep Longbow to have. This can overperform, I think, in my deck. If I have some ways to make tokens, flying tokens with 2 Clarion Spirits, or just maybe I will keep this Cleric. Raptor can crew it. Raptor I think I will keep. Cleric I'm not so sure. And also Maya creates tokens. Do I have some other ways? Not really. This shouldn't stay in my deck. This probably will be strong enough. because it will be a finisher with this loses X life. It's not great stats for a deck that looks to be aggressive, but I think it's good enough. So I'm not so sure about this Fall of the Impostor. The effect is quite good for what my deck is trying to do, but I still won't have that many green sources, so so it's not very good if the third chapter is the best and I have to wait for green mana to play it. So at least here I get an immediate great effect, and here as well this can just kill the opponent if I boost my whole team and attack on some boards, and if not, it's still a great effect. And this effect isn't that great, so it's not a very splashable card. And now Master Scout gets a little worse, but I don't have to keep it. Still, I can keep it for the artifacts and enchantments that are left, but I can just cut it. I won't keep I have to cut something, so I won't keep the worst cards just to enable Master Scout. I can cut it too. So still quite a lot of cards to cut. Master Scout is one idea. Coma's Faithful is one of the worst. This I'm not so sure. I have still keeping some enchantments and artifacts, quite a lot, maybe. So maybe this is good enough. This should be probably good enough, so it's not a great overall, but can really be good in my deck. I think this Cleric is one of the weakest links. Not so sure about this Raptor as well. So it helps double spelling. I have Clarion Spirit, so keeping one creature 1-drop might make sense. It's a lot better with some boosts, and I have this warrior, one equipment I think I will keep. This won't work, probably. And this is another boost, so some boosts are there, not that many. So it's still probably one of the weakest links. Let's maybe try to cut it. So not an easy choice. I think I could consider cutting this, because 4 mana slot is quite heavy. A lot of these cards have foretell or some way to be cheaper, like this Valkyries. But this can be good on some boards, maybe even finish them, but its own stats are pretty underwhelming, and it's more of a grindy card. Not it can be finisher in an aggressive deck, but I think I would prefer to keep just the creatures that attack good and finish the job by themselves. So this provides some reach, but if it doesn't kill the opponent on the spot, it doesn't do enough probably. So probably it should go. Master Scout is a card to consider. This can be a hit or miss. And the worst thing about it is that way down and this Valkyries also exile creature cards from a graveyard, so this not only needs an enchantment or artifact in the graveyard, so the two sagas are the main thing that can get there, but also it needs a creature to exile, which it competes for with 4 other cards that are cheaper. So it's really not looking great for this Master Scout. So my tribal got worse. I have 6 warriors and 5 clerics right now. I think I'm gonna cut 1 land probably in this deck. And I'm not sure because cutting another creature isn't a good idea, I suppose. I should cut something else now. Even maybe a vehicle, but maybe something more expensive. Non-angels. So this misses something that it exiles only non-angels creatures. But it's probably still good enough. So if I have to cut a non-creature spell, I think Longboat is the weakest link here. So it will be a little harder to double spell if I cut Longboat, another cheap card. So I can think about bringing back this Raptor maybe, and cut, I don't know, something for 3 mana, probably Coma's Faithful or Cursor. But I don't have that many 3 mana creatures, so it's probably not a great idea. So maybe this vehicle and the land after all. It is a little greedy because this deck isn't that cheap to just play 16 lands. And even Maya benefits from playing more lands. I think I would play 2 forests along with this pathway, 3 green sources. I could consider making black my splash color and play Retribution, binding the old gods, some of the best black cards, but maybe add some good 2-drops there, some snow lands, and this troll and mentor is good in this go white deck, but I don't have a great fixing in green. This is quite bad in an aggressive deck because I won't get this 7 mana effect. I won't even add blue and red sources in this deck. Okay, so this is one version, it's almost ready. I think it would have it needs 8 white sources, so I probably would go down to 6 black sources. So it's not too great. Or I could go back to 7 black sources and cut, looks for something to cut after all. But it's also not very appealing, or I could just cut this the worst black cards. So here we are. I still can consider cutting some of these removal and pseudo removal cards because they are worse as splashes, but then I'm worse with removal. But I can fit this in such case. Glitter and Frost probably doesn't make sense, but maybe one copy. I could play 16 lands and Glitter and Frost maybe. I could even consider this. And maybe play a Snowland in one of my colors if I have this troll, but maybe not. Getting out of my way to support it is a good idea, so I could have a swamp and 2 forests, so 3 isn't great for this troll. So this helps with double spelling at least. It's not a bad idea to play this. And then Master Scout gets better. Maybe I could cut everything in black except the best cards in these sagas. So now with 2 black cards I could go down. Maybe consider this one tap land. Now I have 16 lands. Eight white sources, 3 black sources, and 5 green isn't great. So probably this deck would need 17 lands and there's no room for Glitter and Frost. because I just need 4, 5, 6, 7 green sources, 7 white sources, a backup green source, and but mostly 3 black sources here. Big helps. So I have 3 changelings. But overall this tribal theme got worse. But changelings are good with this Ores of Saga as well, so I think it makes some sense to go this way. So the worst thing about this deck is probably removal. I think I have to cut all these black cards in this version. Or I could bring back one more, I think, with 3 black sources and this Kaldheim pick. I think I can play the 3rd black card, no more. So I could bring back a pseudo removal or a removal spell. But green didn't provide a removal except this Saga, which is a little slow. It's not that bad with this removal anyway, so it's not the end of the world. I could also play this instead of one basic swamp, but I'm not sure if it's worth it with only one troll. I can always cut this troll and not play this, play forest, because I have to cut something, so maybe maybe this is the weakest link because it makes me play taplands, which I don't want to play. Not necessary. So maybe I don't have a lot of 3 mana creatures right now, but still I stay better with 2 mana creatures. Maybe double spelling could be easier thanks to that. And this Kaldheim pick can start working earlier. Nine warriors, okay, so I missed this. This tribal is actually better here. So I have some incentive to not cut warriors from this deck. Nice hit throw. He's looking at me now. But maybe one warrior can go. So yeah, you are the weakest link still, like we could have imagined. And probably this flyer is one of the weakest links, but so am I able to make this deck cheaper and play 16 lands, or? Yeah, so I don't want to keep all the warriors I have because I have to consider my mana curve as well, so maybe one mentor is enough. But this version should probably play 17 lands, and still I have to cut one more card, and this Doom's cards, I know that it may seem weird to keep this in an aggressive go white deck, but I think it's a good insurance. I can I can live with one dead card if it helps me when the opponent stabilizes and takes over the game. I can keep some creatures in my hand and then sweep the board and try to dump these creatures and win after all. And also I have this protector, which is a great combo with a sweeper. So I could cut 1/2 drop, but I think all of them are quite appealing. Probably Story Seeker is the worst. And I think this deck really would prefer to play 5/2 drops than 4. Tough choice, because now, if not a Story Seeker, I think this Kaldheim Courser is one of the weakest links, but with 2 Clarion Spirits it really helps me double spell if I have quite a lot of artifacts and enchantments. 7 total, it's not bad. It will ramp me from time to time. It is a still Windrake, which isn't bad, maybe not great, but cool enough, so the lack of relevant creature type hurts it a little as well. So I could cut another mentor to make this mana curve better. So another warrior would go, but I think this shapeshifter that is also a warrior is maybe better, maybe not, because it really competes with quite a lot of cards for this ability. So maybe putting 2 creatures on board if I have my eyes is better, so maybe this shapeshifter should go. Eight warriors, 2 changelings. I think I have still not that many support for tribal, so maybe this is enough. Okay, now changeling combos with retribution, so maybe it is a better tiebreaker. So it's overall a better card. This combos better with Maya, this combos with retribution, but this is overall better, I suppose. So maybe this way. Yeah, I think this deck is better than this. And this Orzhov version splashing green, Selesnya splashing black. Raptor is better in this deck if I have Blade Walker. Maybe I can count my possible boosts. 1, 2, 3. No. 4. This is another boost that I didn't have. 5 even, but this is very conditional. 6. Quite a lot, but I'm not sure. It's not very good without these boosts. I have some flyers anyway, and It helps me double spell. What would I cut? Not this, probably. I think I want to keep it after all. So probably this. No, I don't think so. Or I could just keep cut Story Seeker. Or it's not making my deck a lot cheaper, having a one drop instead of a 2-drop. Okay, this was pretty hard, but I hope I got there. I'm looking again if I haven't missed some things. I have a lot of flyers, so Raven Wings isn't that important. This would be a weaker link in this deck. Still not bad, but what would I cut? Same goes here. This helps double spelling, but what would I cut here? Probably a Story Seeker. So not a great trade-off overall. I think I won't prefer to start attacking from turn 2 or maybe equip this on turn 3 if I'm able. So. Okay, I think the deck is just ready. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and watch some matches of this event. It should be interesting. The whole playlist is linked in the description. Bye.